because we have just last three lectures to complete. So today, basically, our focus is to discuss the very important part of search system, uh, which is uh, which is actually not the key challenge for the designer, but maybe the person who is going to deliver it, or maybe who person who is going to implement it at the or the user's site or user's area, they have to take care of it, right? So we will be going to discuss today's important aspect, which is called evaluation, right? Evaluation, or sometimes it is said as a uh, assessment, sometimes it is called as a performance analysis, performance assessment, something like that. So we can have any terms for that. Sometimes it is called testing also. And I hope you have uh, gone through these kind of terminologies during this during your engineering days, where we have taken the course called software engineering, right? So during the engineering software engineering course discussion, we used to gone through this specific topic called testing, right? And particularly in the testing, you can recall that we have four levels of testing, right? So the four levels are like beginning from unit testing, then we will be going to integration testing, then the third level is basically validation testing or user acceptance testing, and last level of is system testing, right? So I hope you can correlate and you can clearly see that what how these four levels of testing are can be conducted and are planned into the case of such system also. Like in the case of unit testing, what we can test each and every component's performance as a unit. Like we can test the text extraction part, we can test the indexing process, if in its efficiency and all of things. So as a search system design, if you are going to perform unit testing, you can perform the evaluation on the performance and its efficiency for each and every component of the search system. That's what you can do, right? Similarly, once we integrate more than one module, then we can conduct some sort of testing. So when we integrate ranking and matching component with evaluation, we can have some sort of performance evaluation. When we integrate text acquisition, text transformation, and indexing, then we can have one kind of assessment. So integration means we will be integrating uh, two dependent modules, two related modules, and then we can perform the assessment. After doing this, because at the end of this integration testing, we will be having one single complete system, right? We begin with different components, we have performed unit testing, now we have integrated all these different components into one single system, and we can claim that at the end of integration testing, we have tested the integration and its effect on the system performance, right? And after this integration testing, we will be going to test the system in the presence of user, right? That's what the purpose of validation testing, acceptance testing. Sometimes it is called a validation, sometimes it is called acceptance testing, right? So the purpose of this third level of testing is to showcase the system's behavior to the user, or maybe to validate the system behavior with respect to user requirement. So to perform this, naturally we will have some different criteria, some different parameters. So after performing this validation testing, we will be going to deliver the system and see the performance of the system in its real environment, and that's why we are saying it is a system testing, right? So basically, we can say as a system designer, as a software system designer, user or system testing is something which we used to do in the lifetime of the software. We used to take out the logs, we used to take out the system's behavior logs, each and everything, and we used to optimize all the time. So this system testing is basically, it is a lifelong activity. We used to conduct it on the lifelong of a system, right? So I hope you are, because this evaluation is closely related to these four levels of testing. But if you can clearly correlate, and you can clearly understood that today we are going to discuss this evaluation of system performance, such system performance. So when we are talking about this evaluation, this assessment, it is entirely at the level of validation or maybe acceptance testing, because there we have the presence of user, there we have the presence or maybe user's expectation, functional requirements are there. So you can we can evaluate closely the system's its delivery, its nature, its overall performance. So whatever we are going to discuss in the next few minutes, it is related to the validation testing. It is at the level of acceptance testing, right? Now, to perform the system evaluation, it is very important to have this idea that system is ready. It is completely integrated. It is completely interacting with or it is having a free flow or smooth interaction with all other components to perform its duties, its objectives, right? Now, whenever we are performing evaluation of any system, so because we are having this component called PhD thesis, MTech thesis, so there also we used to design a short prototype or maybe small size of system or maybe small algorithms. So whenever we are having a small algorithm, a small system prototype, we used to design a hypothesis, which used to say a problem statement or maybe the research questions for the thesis. So we have two targets. One target is to justify the thesis title or justify the research problems. Second one is the research second side, we are having these criterias, right? Performance criterias. So in our case, particularly when we are trying to justify our thesis work, justify our research work, we have we have to have a clarity that which criteria, which matrix, which trade-off value is basically correlated with my research question, my research thesis, and how I'm going to use this criteria, use this matrix to justify my thesis work. So there, this particular layer is additional to us, because in the case of software system design, it is very easy to design a system and perform and test it to the certain criterias. But in case of thesis work, research work, it is very, I mean, it is slightly different, because we need to have this correlation between research questions or thesis work or thesis objective and its correlation with the possible matrix which we are going to use for the system evaluation system which we have designed or algorithm which we have designed. Now the tendency, now one thing is very sure here, you should be always having this clarity that this matrix criterias and trade-offs are the three different things, right? So whenever we are evaluating a system, naturally we will be creating a strategic plan to evaluate the system, right? Because system evaluation is one of the critical thing, right? Because in the world most of the system are failing because they are gone through a very small scale of testing. Most of the failure of 90% 95% cases are happening because we do not test system in its full strength. We are having a very small tendency to test the systems, right? So now you can see matrices are something, are the basic parameters, are well known, well established criteria, you can say, right? But criteria are something else. Criteria are something which you can create. Like in a case of justification of a thesis work, justification of research work, you can always have this flexibility to create a new matrix. You can redefine the existing matrix and create new criteria, something like that. So criteria is always it is a new parameter, it is a new definition through which you are going to justify, through which we are going to evaluate your system. So sometimes it is called as a user defined matrix, something like that, to evaluate the system. Trade-offs are basically, it is nothing but it is a combination of either two matrix or two criteria. So wherever, like if A and B are two dependent parameters for the system evaluation, so you can always compare A and B. So you can always draw a graph between A and B, two criteria or two matrices, and justify the performance. So whenever, because as a system performance, both A and B should be maintained, right? So sum of A plus B should be 1, something like that. So whenever we have this kind of parameters, this kind of matrices, you can always have trade-offs, right? So drawing a trade-off is something important, because there we need to balance. So balance of these two trade-offs A and B will affect the system's performance. Now, let's talk about why we are going to perform this evaluation of the system and why it is so important. So naturally, the objective or the purpose or the outcome of any evaluation is to understand the system's effectiveness, system purpose, right, for a given application scenario. So like each and every system is designed with respect to some application scenario, and naturally when we have designed a system, it is the first task to evaluate, to assess that how much system is delivering, how much system is effective to deal with, to serve the application, to serve the purpose, right? That's the first step it should be. Second, or maybe lifelong activity is something like that, because we have delivered a system to meet some requirements. Naturally we have to see basically how system is delivering the task or objective, and that's one part. Second part, we will be having some kind of parameters to evaluate its performance over the years, over the lifeline. So the first objective is to see its effectiveness, and second objective is to understood that okay, where system can be improved, which portion can be improved. Like it could be possibility that this text transformation or text acquisition can be improved, indexing can be improved with the rise of new type of data, or maybe with the new data evolution, something like that. So that's what is the so short term objective is to understood or to evaluate the effectiveness of the system on a given application scenario, and the long term objective could be, or maybe long term outcome could be, is to understand the basically the area of improvement on the system, and which we used to refer as a search engine optimization, also search system optimization, or maybe search process optimization also. So based on these two, these are the two primary basically reasons why we are going to perform, or why we are going to evaluate a such system. Yes, you can always have additional reasons for that, or maybe based on your understanding. And after this, once we have this idea that okay, we need to evaluate a system to understand these two possible uh, aspects. Now how we are going to test it, how we are going to evaluate the system, that's the important part, because it is something like it is required, but how we are going to conduct it. So first approach is naturally, so whenever we have designed a system and we are trying to understand its effectiveness on application area and the possible area of improvement, so what we are going to do, we are going to have some quantitative experiments. Like we have collected the logs, we have collected the users feedback on the system, we have collected the system's delivered output, something like that. So we can collect all these systems delivered performance experiments or experimental data, and we can analyze that, we can come up with solution, and then rework the system, redesign the system. That's one part. Second part, we can explicitly ask for the user experience. That's the modern or maybe additional things that we are observing nowadays. To improve each and every system, we used to ask some sort of review, some sort of experiences from the users. Like if you have gone through the Google Play Store, there are a lot of queries or observations or remarks posted by the users, and these are well entertained by the development team, because they are getting a lot of internals or maybe explicit uh, remarks on the system's behavior. So these user experiences are now playing a huge role to improve or optimize the system. So that's how we are going to. Quantitative experiment is something which is, we can say, the evaluation by using traditional matrices, right? So when we are observing these system delivered data and analyzing them to improve the system, that is something one part. Second will be, it could be from the outside, user is sharing some experiences on the system, and this experience will be used to improve the system. Now both things, so that is very true important aspect. Now in both cases, we are observing the system behavior in the case of in the controlled environment. So because it is widely observed that whenever we are performing system evaluation, it should always should be done in the controlled environment. So controlled environment means each and every parameter has been observed, right? So whenever we are capturing the user experience, or whenever we are observing the user's experience through remarks or through feedback, as a system designer, we have to see what are the environmental parameters were there at that point of time when user has submitted a particular experience, or maybe when we have gathered the quantitative experimental data. What was the environment includes each and everything, like what was the computing devices you used, what was the voltage, what was the user query, how much data has been gathered. All these things, all these parameters has been well maintained, well recorded, right? So you should be collecting the data about clients and development sides, both sides. The environmental data should be collected, then only we can perform the evaluation. So naturally, these something details are ideal. So now if you are conducting a research based evaluations, like if we are comparing the algorithm which we have designed, you should be very clear that what data and how much data you have taken, what are the input size you are applying, and how what is the setup I have created for performing simulation of the algorithms, and what are the system has generated, like how much time it has been produced the output, and how much data it has touched upon, and how much data it has generated, what are the number of data objects have been generated. So a lot of things are there. So you should be capturing each and everything. So whenever we perform evaluation, these three things are important: experimental data, user experience if we have, then we have controlled environment. So details about these three components should be there whenever we are performing or writing about the evaluation. Now, because we are talking about the search system design, so whenever we perform evaluation, it should be naturally with respect to us, a particular user query. That is one possible, and that is one smallest possible level that we are evaluating the system performance by having a single query. That's one way. Yes, we can have multiple queries of the same user. We can have the uh, you know uh, different set of queries from the set of users. So these things should be very clear to you, that I will be going to evaluate my system's performance by having its performance on a specific query, or maybe set of query, or maybe related query, something like that, because input is something which will affect the entire performance, right? So that's one part. You can have always evaluation by considering a whole search session, like we are assuming that the search is conducted between 4 to 5 p.m. Are useful for me, something like that. You can take out that okay, I'm going to evaluate the system performance by considering the time window between 8 to 10, because at this time most of the users are posing the query. So you should be defining a session time. So you should be well define the boundaries of the session for which you are performing the evaluation. So it is basically important, because it will affect the overall system performance as well as the input size, right? Now because we are talking about the search system performance and search system evaluation, there we are considering this search experience as a term, which is a very important term, and which is often used whenever whenever we talk about the evaluation of a system, right? So that is whether it is a recommender system, or it is social search system, web search system, document filtering system. So any kind of search process, search system evaluation has this relation with search experience. So this includes three part actually: the efficiency of the system, effectiveness of the search system, and user experience on the search system. So when we combine these three, it will become search experience, or maybe you can say this encapsulate search experience term encapsulates three things: search efficiency, search effectiveness, and search experience itself. Right. So now we are going to open about these three basic levels of criteria. So most of the cases or most of the criteria are, I mean, they are well known, or maybe they are familiar to you. Now, efficiency is something which we are very familiar, because whenever we design a algorithm or maybe computing system, it is something which is expected at first hand. That is something is our perception about the system design. So similarly, when we design a search process or search system, right, search system or search process for both cases, when we say efficiency, it simply means that the extraction, because it is This retrieval or search system is intended to extract or to retrieve. So it says, efficiency says in the case of such process or system design, that it should be, extraction should be done quickly, right? It should be completed, or it should be delivered as soon as possible, right? So when we say quickly, it means naturally as soon as possible. That's one part. And so if you correlate with this quickly term on the with respect to extraction, we can say that the first criteria which we can use, or first matrix we can use, I'm saying matrix, I'm not saying criteria, right? So query response time is something which is established in the earliest time actually. So whenever we submit a query, and from that point, when we get the result, till that point actually. So this time window between submission to the result is referred as a query response time. So this can be simply used, this matrix can be simply used to evaluate the system performance, system efficiency. So you can take out different user query, that's one part. You can take all the queries of the system and see how system is behaving, right? So you can take this QRT as one of the metrics to evaluate the system efficiency. Similarly, if you want to see the system's throughput, so you can evaluate by simply posing that within a time window, how many queries are answered, how many queries are responded. So this, through this you can check the throughput. Now, if you want to check the robustness, you can do what? Robustness is something, it is the system's behavior in the difficult conditions, or maybe the extreme conditions. Like in the case of IRCTC, if you want to check the robustness of IRCTC system, you will be evaluating the system performance between maybe 10 to 12, where we are having this Tatkal window time there, because the system is behaving, or system is performing under a lot of constraints. So if you want to check the robustness of system, you should be evaluating the system's behavior in its most difficult, most constrained time, or most constrained inputs, right? So similarly, you can always evaluate the system's robustness with the search, with respect to search system also, by applying the huge size or huge queries on the extreme conditions or extreme constraint systems. Similarly, you can see check the scalability. You can easily see that for a user query, what is the effect of a number of recently added or number of upcoming documents, how system is responding to the different queries, how system is responding to the different queries which are going to retrieve the same results, and how system is effectively responding to these semantically equivalent queries, something like that. So you can see, or you can always formulate a criteria for that, because wherever we found that this standard definition is not available, you can always create your own definition, right? And you can always formulate a equation to evaluate the property, evaluate the criteria. Similarly, usability is something, it is a subjective, it is a qualitative assessment. So usability is something, how it is easy to use the system. So you can always call a survey, or you can easily ask the user to provide a qualitative indicators or qualitative data through which you can evaluate the system's usability, right? So efficiency is basically evaluating you that how efficient or how quickly system is responding to the query, and how system is responding or to the different scales, right? Now, it is important to achieve a level of efficiency. That is very important, because efficiency is closely related to the system use or system usability. If your search system is not responding to the user queries within a time, within a specific time window, user will leave the system, or maybe he will stop using the system. So efficiency is something important, right? Now, efficiency is okay. Now, it is very important to deliver the really relevant, or maybe exact, or maybe matching information to the user, and it is coming from the effectiveness side. Now, second aspect says it should deliver, it should system is ability for the search engine to find the right information. So right information could be again, it is a subjective notion, because right says it could be a relevant, it could be a proximity, it could be an exact match. Because whenever we talk about a search system, it could be the relevant information. Whenever we talk about recommender system, it should be a partially matching information. So effectiveness is broadly says your system should deliver the, the similar or the closely related or matching, exact matching or related information to the user. So when we say this, right information or we approximate information or the partially matching information, it is always with respect to a relevance level. So a relevance level or maybe expectation, right? So it is again a subjective. Relevance is itself is a subjective notion. So it is again important to define or maybe explicitly defining the relevance level. So whenever we are evaluating anything, so whenever we are evaluating any criteria or any metrics, in the case of effectiveness, it is very important to define the relevance level. So suppose we are trying to derive or we are trying to define the accuracy, or whenever we are evaluating the effectiveness of a such system, it is very important to say, or it is very important to define or predefine what is the relevance level I'm expecting for accuracy, right? So then only we can then only we can evaluate it, that okay, for this system this level of accuracy is okay, it is right, it says that accuracy is okay, right? We cannot explicitly say that when system deliver this then only can say it is accurate. No, it should be always with respect to relevance level. So your expectations should be predefined into the systems, right? Now within accuracy, it is basically having notions or parameters like precision, recall, F measure, which is a geometric mean of precision and recall, sensitivity and specificity, right? These are the prominently used parameters which naturally once we are going to into the research part, like dissertation work and project work and thesis work, you will have these criterias, you will have the definition of these criterias, like what is the definition of precision, what is the definition of recall, how we are going to evaluate these criterias for the system design, for the algorithm design. So I'm not going to open that definition because definition is purely clear. So you can say or you can understand that precision is something which is basically is to deliver, or it is the degree of, or it is the quantity of data which is delivered to the user for its real needs, right? And recall says, or recall indicates the degree or the number of data which is delivered to the user which may be relevant to the user, right? So it is said precision is very important because it is delivering the data which is precisely related to the user's need. Now, to evaluate this precision, to evaluate the recall, you need to have a level of relevance, level of confidence. And when we say F measure, it is again a geometric mean. So once you calculate precision and recall, you can easily direct, or you can easily estimate the F measure score. Similarly, if you see sensitivity and specificity, these are the quantitative measures, and they indicate that how much basically system is sensitive towards your typed query, right? So because for each task you will be having user query, so whatever you have typed, how sensitive system is delivering for with respect to that user query, right? And how your query is accurate or close to the data stored in the system. So similarly, you can always plan a new matrix or new criteria for your system evaluation by keeping the again the research question in front of you. That's what I'm saying. So traditionally, or maybe existing matrices are like precision, recall, F measures, sensitivity, specificity are used to evaluate the system accuracy. And along with this, or maybe addition to this, you can always uh, define your new criteria to estimate the system accuracy, right? So addition to the accuracy part, because accuracy is again important, because accuracy is something related to the effectiveness criteria, that which says it should be delivered the right information. So it is accuracy which defines or which underlines the effectiveness criteria. Now within this effectiveness, nowadays we are getting new applications domain where novelty and diversity are the two additional important matrices which are being used to evaluate the systems effectiveness, right? So novelty says like it says that whenever we search, or we research second time search or maybe third time search, how much new objects has been introduced, right? So suppose you have queried on the Google search at 10 o'clock, and again you have queried for the same user query, so at maybe 12 o'clock or maybe 3 o'clock, how much novel information is system is pushing to you, right? So for the same query, how much system has introduced new objects within the first page or within the second page or within the top 100 results, something like that. So because novelty is something which is important, it showcase the recently added articles to a user, right? And it is coming to it is playing one of the critical role in few systems design, few cases. Similarly, diversity is also nowadays, this is one aspect which is getting a lot of attention in the last maybe 4 to 5 years, because it has been realized that in the modern context, most of the systems are well equipped by the machine learning techniques or maybe AI based algorithms. So because of that, most of the systems are getting personalized. They're becoming personalized to the users. So sometimes this personalization basically hindrance or stops the diversity among the results. So if you impose a simple query on the search system, or maybe if system has maintained your previous history, previous profile information, it may offer few personalized specific information to you, and it fails significantly, it fails the providing the diverse information. So diversity is again important in few application cases. I'm not saying it is important for all kind of systems where search is available, search is used as a integral process. So within diversity, now we have two labels or two criteria, we can say. So so diversity and novelty are two matrices, and like in the case of diversity, coverage and topicality are well established criteria nowadays. So you can always define the coverage, and you can define the topicality and its equation for the evaluation purpose, right? So I mean, if you read all about these criterias, these matrices, you will get a basic definition that novelty says this, diversity said this, but based on that definition itself, you can define a new equation or new ratio or new degree to estimate this novelty score or diversity score or maybe coverage score or maybe topicality score, something like that, right? So maybe after this lecture, I mean, continuation to this lecture, we will be going to discuss a complete case study that how you can plan the assessment for the system, right? So along with this, within the effectiveness itself, you can always plan a trade-off. Like in the exploratory search based systems, it is very important to balance these two behaviors, which says exploitation and exploration. This is something we have discussed during the lecture number, I think 10 or 9, or maybe before that, where we have taken the case study of different such behaviors and said that exploration systems are the modern systems which are widely used by the modern context, where user interaction is being captured to deliver or to to increase or enhance the search process. So there it is very important to balance these two behaviors, exploitation and exploration. Means how system is balancing, how much information system is delivering for the exploitation purpose and how much information is delivered for the exploration purpose. So this you can maintain, this you can define, you can always define a ratio between these two behaviors by simply using the mean average precision and mean average recall, something like that. So you can always frame a simple equation, simple formula to create a new criteria and its equation, right? So these are something traditional features or traditional criterias which we can use. Now to understand this I mean, criteria like precision, recall, you can always have or you can use this concept called confusion matrix to understand that how these equations can be planned. You can see here from the overall population of 10 objects, if we classify, if we assume that this few objects are exactly matching to the user need and few objects are wrongly identified as relevant, right? So if you understand or if you label them as a relevant, non-relevant, wrongly marked as relevant or wrongly marked irrelevant, something like that, So you can always plan a definition like for precision it is truly positive. Truly positive means object which is exactly considered as a exact matching and it is matching. So in this case this green object which is 1, it is true positive, and it precision is the simple ratio of true positive with true positive and false positive. So precision is something which talks about the positives, whether it is true or false, both. So it is a simple ratio between true positives and both positives, true and false. So in this case, because we are having three objects which are assumed as a positives, so it will be like 1 by 3. So similarly, for you can think about the recall also. Recall says it is a ratio of true positives. So because recall says you have to gather all the relevant results. That is one part, not exactly matching, which is purely indicated by precision. So recall say you have to gather all the matching relevant, all the relevant relates to the user. So which is means the ratio of true positive with true positive and false negative. So false negatives are also something which should be appearing in the relevant to the user. So that's why it is kept in the definition. So here you can say we have get a ratio of 1:1, right? So now similarly you can define the ratio of specificity and sensitivity, right? So this is something which is one of the important aspect in the case of system design, because in most of the cases we are going to use this confusion matrix to evaluate the performance. But at this point I can recall one of the important aspect which is important, that whenever we are designing a system, each and every system is having its nature. Some systems are closed systems, some systems are open. So when I say closed system, it means one part, one set of systems. When we say open system, it means one set of systems. So like search engine systems are open system because we are not going to have this logins detailed available into the system. Google search system is not maintaining your details as a whole. It is not maintaining profile, something like that. So open system, in the case of open system, you do not need to worry about the precision plus recall, right? But when we have closed systems like nowadays, like a recommended system are maintaining your profile. So if you logged into the amazon.com, flipkart.com, they are maintaining each and everything about you. So in the case of recommended system, if we consider them as a closed system, the sum of recall and precision should be 1. It means that system will be balancing these two ratio, precision and recall, right? So whenever we have open system, it should not be required to maintain the ratio or maintain the relationship between the different matrices. But in the case of closed system, it is very important to maintain the sum of criteria or maybe the relationship between these criteria, because it will be delivered with the possibility and non-possibility kind of scenario, right? So this is something very important, particularly whenever we are designing a system for the users, right? Like in the most of the cases of computer science, we used to design a system where users presence is required, users presence is there. So we need to take care about this closed system and open system definition. Now from here, let's understand briefly that what is the third aspect. So now third aspect is user experience. So along with this effectiveness and efficiency, this third dimension, which is called as a user experience, is also important for the evaluation. So suppose if you have designed an algorithm or you have designed a system for a search process or search system, and user presence is important, then you have to plan some sort of evaluation of the user experience related to user experience. So you have to first of all observe the ease of use, how much user is experienced, how much user is comfortable with the use of the system. So whenever he is using certain options, what how convenient it is for the user to use those features for his task, right? That is something coming under the usability. So you can always plan various user experience or user testings. So this is something, it is one of the important aspect because it has involved this psychological theory into it, and it is something very complex. Whenever we are planning a user study or use case study, it is something which is complex situation because in it involves psychological aspect of the user thinking process. Now along with it, if we say effect of user interactions, because user will be interacting to the system. Now you should be thinking about, you should be having some criteria to understand, to evaluate that how much this interaction will improve the system's effectiveness and efficiency both. That's one, that's something very important, right? So you can always draw a comparison, draw a graph that if we provide this feature to the user on the GUI, how much effect it will have on the recall feature, how much it will have effect on precision, effectiveness, efficiency, something else. So you should be always having this idea. You should have always a criteria to evaluate the user level of user interaction and its effect on the all other criteria which we have discussed previously, right? So I'm not talking about any specific definitions here, but it is one of the upcoming dimension, and most of the people have already started exploring about this. And for this, you either you can have a survey, or either you can have a you know uh, a test report. Also, you can always prepare a test report and share it to the user whenever user is using it. So you can always ask for the user to see an observation recorded onto the test case reports, right? So from here, let me take out to a simple a note, which is again designed to understand that uh, whenever we design a system, whenever we design an algorithm, how you can perform a simple analysis or simple evaluations, right? So this is coming from my thesis. Actually, I have submitted my PhD thesis during the year of 18, right? So there we have connected, we have designed a system to justify uh, the need of different different criteria or different measures into the ranking and matching process. So the purpose of the proposed work is to justify the need of new criteria or new matrices for the ranking and matching process in the in a retrieval system, or maybe the search system, which is designed for user interactions, right? So you can easily I mean, I'm going to just skip a lot of details. So you can see, so we have this, we have correctly pointed out that you need to have a data set or number of records which will be going to be used for the evaluation, right? So that is something important. So this is something very important aspect. Now whenever we have this kind of system design, you should always say what is the purpose of overall performance evaluation, right? So the purpose of evaluation is to basically justify the different measures and their effect on search intent. So this is something says actually that what are the effect of different criteria, different parameters we have proposed into the ranking and matching process and overall effectiveness. So with that, we can easily say that, okay, these are the following focus of the work. So whenever we are writing a performance evaluation of a system, or maybe of a process, you should be clearly point out that what this particular work, I mean, evaluation portion will be going to deliver you, right? So it says that it will discuss the feasibility analysis of the proposed relevance framework and relevance measures which we have proposed, right? So we have proposed query term proximity measures and pseudo relevance feedback notion and user relevance feedback measures for user centric retrieval result retrieval. So that is something which we are going to discuss through this performance evaluation. Second objective of this evaluation is to assert or to deliver to discuss the outcomes of a proposed notion into the retrieval framework, right? And its effect on enhancing the novelty, diversity, and overall retrieval. So this is something is the second objective of the performance evaluation. And last, it is a simple, it is a comparative assessment with. So because we have designed one system, so you should be evaluating the system's proposed system performance with its counterpart, right? So like WildDB, AID, Intent Radar, uranks is something which we have discussed also. So we have discussed a comparative study between a proposed system with existing four potential systems, and to test that we have applied search trail. So search trail is nothing, it is a simple collection of queries. So suppose a user is conducting 5 different queries. So we are combining all these 6 queries into one session and make as a search trails. So we have applied these same search trails, same inputs to the 4 different systems, 5 different systems, and these 4 systems are built on the top of a data set of this, and objective is to deliver these 2 outcomes. So this is something it said. Now, after discussing about the data settings and all these things, you can always discuss about the overall environment you have created. Now you need to give the definition. So search trails is something which we have taken as an input. So suppose we take first a search trail. It includes these three queries, right? Something like that. So similarly, you can have search trail 5. There we are having multiple query terms. So you should always provide a basic definition about the inputs, right? Now, because we have taken this objective to explain or demonstrate the effectiveness of different measures we have proposed. So the first measure we have proposed is the query term proximity measures. This is something we have taken during the, I think some of the lecture there we have talked about, span, coverage, and all these things. So we have proposed this. So first objective of this work is to demonstrate the purpose and the effect of these query term proximity measures for the ranking and relevance estimation. So that is something which we have discussed at the first. So we have proposed 5 different measures. Out of these 5, 2 are implicit, like span and mean coverage, and remaining 4 are explicit.